The administration of President Muhammad Buhari came into office with the mantra, the change mantra in 2015. And then they talked about different, the economy, boosting the economy, fighting insecurity, and then infrastructure. How would you assess this present administration? Because we've seen a lot of people assessing them, some scoring them high, especially as the federal government or this administration is finally moving to the end of its administration. What is your assessment?
Let me throw that question back to you. In your own humble opinion, how do you score this present administration?
Well, it's your role to answer
No. But you see, when you want to assess somebody, right? You assess objectively, clearly, clear conscience, without any fear of contradiction. We were somewhere on Saturday, and we said, if anybody should clap hand for this administration, where we have pains, hunger, killings, and what have you. Remember, let me point out one thing. Remember, they said the only way Nigeria will be safe or secure is to chase the former president away, Jonathan. Right? And he said, if a country cannot protect her citizens, that government is not worthy. And everybody, because we thought that he was a former military head of state and things like that. Then he said, light, if after 6 months you don't have constant supply of light, that we should not stone them. They talk about corruption. Talk about even the fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy. They said the same our president, with due respect, sir, but you told us that it's a scam, it's fraud, that you will not do that. Again, he said anybody, he cannot negotiate, he cannot give amnesty to criminals. He called these Boko Haram criminals. But today, you know how many billions or trillions of naira that have been spent both in security. I listened to Danjuma some time ago. He said this military administration, the military, whatever, is not fair. They have compromised with security. So I don't know the area you want me to talk about. Is it the economy? How much is dollar? I remember 1983 when I wrote my professional history of bankers examination. I was exchanging my 1 naira to 0.83.
That's 83
at the time.
Yes, in 1983. You can Google it. I was writing my history of bankers London exam 1983. Right? Then the former president, the former administration left the naira to dollar I think 150 or less than under 200. How much is dollar today? About some months ago, I don't know whether it's up to 600 naira now. A country, 600 naira. 600 naira. You talk about the inflation, my dear. You are asking me to go further to say what I don't want to say. Inflation. You as a lady, you go to the market. How much is a derica of rice? How much is a derica of beans? What about tomato? What about onions? I'm a grassroots person. I go to the market, I price and I buy. I don't know. My wife just decided each time you say, Daddy, please, can you on your way back? Can you buy some of these things? I didn't know that she wanted me to buy because for me to know what she's suffering. Because when I go to the market and buy by myself, I spend more. So everything has skyrocketed. Nothing. The economy you're talking about. The economy is doing in 1983 or thereabout. Late Chief Obafemi told MPN that the economy is bad. I think it was Monodiko who said that Nigerians are not eating from the dustbin. Maybe you may have forgotten. Today, I will not eating from the dustbin. How much is a loaf of bread? How much is a loaf of bread? Right? What is the life you are talking about? Now, a few weeks ago, the Greek collapsed. Today, can you boast of 20? What are you using to run this studio? In my church yesterday, when we were balancing and we were trying to see her, we were surprised to discover that we spend close to 1 million naira on power. Excuse me, every month. Almost 1 million, 800-something thousand naira. Excuse me. One of our deacons who is the managing director of, I don't want to mention the company, said that he spent close to 10 million naira in a month. Why is it that some of these companies are folding up? You go to market now, what you buy today, right? If you go back in the evening,
3 days.
3 days we find out it's not the same thing. So what are we saying? What are we talking about?
Yes, but
is it ordinary painkillers? Let me call their names. We used to buy 5 naira. What? It's now 1 naira 30. 1 naira 30. 130 naira or something like that. Things have gone beyond the reach. Do you know? Go to the hospitals. Go to the hospitals. Intensive care in most hospitals is between 300 and 500,000 naira. Intensive care. I read a story where one young man said that my wife died as a result of carelessness of the doctor. And you go to the hospital, the doctor will tell you deposit this, otherwise not. And in the process, either you lose that person, something like that. Ordinary blood bank.
You know, let me come in there. You know, on this issue of healthcare in Nigeria, one of the promises of this administration was that they were going to stop medical tourism. But we've seen the president and his family, his son, travel outside the country for medical checkup several times. He has even traveled this year, 2022. Yes. And you're wondering, are all this lip service?
That's why I've always said talk is cheap. Do what I say, don't do what I do. That's what is happening. Do you know that the National Assembly killed the bill proposed by one of the leaders that both the government officials and their children should not travel abroad for medical care? It was killed. Now, the issue of education, we didn't mention about education. How much is, do you know a child in ordinary nursing school pays close to ₦1 million in nursing school? Then ASU has been on strike. ASU has been on strike. Nobody bothers assuming their children were in those private, the public schools. Would they be bothered? I was in the studios in 2020? Yes, 2020. The present honorable minister for education, no trade, labor, Christian was called in, and I was going to ask him a question. I said, with due respect, honorable minister, sir, why people are thinking why you are not concerned about this because your children are not in the public schools? He said, he spoke in Igbo. He said, that's who told me that his children are there. But we failed to investigate. But we heard that his children are in some of the schools here. But we don't know the schools because of security purposes. If last time you asked me the best way for all this, I say everybody should go on road. Abi?
Yes.
No flying, nothing. Go to from here to east, from here to Kano, from here to, the roads are bad. From here to east, you spend almost the whole day. You leave here by 6 a.m. You get to Onitsha as early as 12 o'clock, but you cannot cross. You spend 4 hours there. Assuming if a minister travels like that, he will feel. Have you forgotten that was a time a minister traveled from Lagos to Ore and she wept? Have you forgotten? Since that time, what has happened? Though there's improvement now, but from Onitsha to the east, what has happened? Now you talk about rail. Amechi has spent a lot of money
on the rail system.
on the rail, and he has also succeeded in extending it to other countries, right? But in the southeast, nothing. I challenge you, and I challenge those watching to go from Port Harcourt to Enugu. You can never believe. Yes, the road links. You can never believe that there was something like rail track. You can never, because it has been overtaken by bush. Maybe as I'm traveling now, there was a time I posted it on my Facebook. I will be, if I remember, I will get it back and show you. This is the nature of the railway lines in the east. Nothing. It has never seen. Okay, can a train move from here to Kano. In those days, that was the cheapest means of transportation. From Lagos to Kano, Kano to Medugri, Medugri to Jos, and things like that. It is no longer like that. He concentrated between Kaduna and Abuja, and we have seen what has happened now.
Okay.
A whole train was bombed. If this thing had happened in the southeast, that place should have been leveled. Southeast would have been leveled by now. Now, so many multiple killings of both police, both soldiers. But have you heard it? One soldier is killed in the southeast. Even you, the press, will say, what is wrong with the southeast?
Okay, Mazi, you've spoken extensively on some of the lapses of this current administration, security. You just talked about infrastructure as well. Let's look at other sectors. You have the health, for example, in terms of our health care system, not just with, battling with COVID-19, but beyond COVID-19 now. How would you rate this, government regarding the healthcare system?
Shona Lagos, I can rate high. It's only Lagos State.
For the state state hospitals,
I can only
general hospitals.
Yes, Lagos State is trying. They've tried, but before the COVID and during the COVID, I covered some area in the COVID, but other states nothing. Then the federal, my dear, it leaves much to be desired. A lot of money has been voted for the health care centers, but nothing. Look at our president.
But when you say a lot of money, sorry to butt in, we still know that the federal allocation to the health sector is still abysmal. So
yes, I agree with you. If the little being allocated to the health sector would have, if it had been used judiciously, would have seen it. Was it not the same Nigeria with the wife of the president went to the clinic there, and there was nothing. If ordinary needle. What about National Hospital Abuja? Have you gone there? What about here, the Lagos State Teaching Hospital? Have you been there? I have taken my brothers how many times there, and even the last time was it January last year? I rushed my son there. His particulars were taken in the car, and at the end they say would have admitted you, but there's no space. You go to Lud. There's a place they call Spillover. Now it is 80,000 naira per night, excluding medication. Right? Now you go to the national hospital Abuja. Is this better? One of my friends who is a retired vice marshal, the daughter died there. She was rushed there, and they said no space. A whole national hospital.
Okay.
So we this money allocated, if they have been used judiciously to improve some of these things. Go there, you see some equipment that were imported that have been there since 60 years ago.
Okay,
the money voted are being misappropriated. That's the issue.
Okay, Mazi, just as we custom now, it's official. The vice president has declared his presidential ambition is now in the arena. He's joined the race as well. So I'll just like to take your thoughts in a minute. You've probably rated, the administration as scoring low in virtually every sector, if not every sector. What can anyone who comes in, be it from the ruling party or the opposition, do to change the tide?
Especially someone who has been in the reins of power in this current administration.
Yes. To be honest, it will be difficult for one to assess because the people or the person coming, it has been part of them. It has been part of them. Assuming we'll have new breeds that will look at it and say that enough is enough. I want to do the work of you who sent me.
But there's a place of experience in politics.
Look, you must separate politics from governance, right? You go there to serve, not to be served. All these people we are talking about, to me, this is my personal opinion, APC and PDP, nobody should vote anybody that comes from there because they are the problem we have.
But you know, Mazi, a lot of people have said that perhaps what has been tying the hands of the vice president is the fact that he is the vice to the president, and so he's playing his loyalty to the president, and so he really may not be able to do much. You'd recall there was time the president was away and the vice president took the reins, and he was able to do some things, which of course some of them were reversed when the president came back. But some people are saying perhaps if he's in charge now, if he's the president, perhaps he'll be able to do more.
No, they are kingmakers. They are kingmakers. Before he becomes the president we are talking about, there are people who will make him, and he will listen to those people. So the same people that will surround him around, and they will not give him the chance to do it. So I remember what you said, and I also did clap hand for him when the president was away. He did beautifully well. I said it here. He became my candidate then. But the fear is this: is he not going to continue? My worry is that they said we want to continue with the good works our party has been doing, which good work. So that's the answer to your question. These people there, we want a neutral people, but they'll be hijacked by the same people. We were talking about the youth. The youth don't have the money. They may have the experience, but then the people that will be bankrolling their this are the same people, but they don't have the money. How can somebody be? Look at the director or whatever, the man in charge of that's immigration now. That time they were trying to recruit some people.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Bamoro.
Yes. So he has been cleared. So the same thing. So we have found ourselves in a very difficult situation that when we say God will save us, it's a prayer, poor man's prayer. But we need cleansing.
All right.
We
That's
need cleansing.
a fine place to live.
We need people that have the fear of God, good ideology. Because these people are not, they don't have, that's why you see them jumping from one place to another. So in my final analysis, I said we need better person. But the better person could also be found in Southeast.
Mazi, well,
thank you very
doing some soft campaigning there. Well, thank you so much, Mazi. We will be taking a break now. When we come back, the conversation continues. Please stay with us.